Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Amber from Amber's Books and More, and today I have my first video in a new series called mini reviews. So what I've decided to do, instead of trying to talk about my thoughts on books like right at my wrap up when I may have 10 to 20 books to talk about, I decided every 5 books to kind of do a little mini review and tell you what I think about them. So we got some good ones this week, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I've read on this list is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the thought of like a girl that was having problems with college a little bit. I found that very relatable. I had a lot of problems with college starting out. I really enjoyed Kath. I wanted to hug her the entire time. I enjoyed Levi. I think that he was such a sweet guy, and I really liked them together. And I really enjoyed her growth as a character, and I really enjoyed her sister's growth as a character. I do enjoy the aspect of adding in this fandom that everybody has, like how Harry Potter is in real life. Although I did not quite enjoy the pieces of the original Simon Snow story, as well as some of her fan fiction, which her fan fiction was actually better than what the original was. But even there's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a great read. It was a contemporary, and I actually liked it, so that says something. But overall, I mean, I think it was a really great story, and anybody that likes contemporary or likes any kind that had, it kind of had a magical feel to it, because it did talk about magic and these characters that are in a magical world. So I definitely think this is an overall book that a lot of people might enjoy. So the second book that I have on here is a book, A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is the book that I've been holding up all the time in my TBRs and everything. I did not realize that this book normally had illustrations. I did not realize that it even were books that had illustrations. I finally figured it out about halfway through, and I was watching some reviews on it, and so I went ahead and went to Amazon and purchased the book that has the illustrations in it. So I read first half of the book without illustrations, went back and looked at the illustrations, and then finished the second half of the book with the illustrations. You definitely need to read this book with the illustrations. The illustrations are done by Jim Kay, who is the same one that does those awesome, gorgeous Harry Potter illustrated editions, and he's fantastic, and his style fits this story so well. So basically, this is a story that is a child having to deal with the monster that's coming to see him. It's heartbreaking. It's very relatable for me, because the problems that he has, I've had those problems in my family as well, and so I do understand why he is so angry. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason that I did not give it 5 is because the character was 13, and yet he acted and read as though he was only like 7 or 8, and so I think that they should have just made him like 8 to 10 years old, rather than aging him up at 13 in the book, when he did not act like a teenager in the least. So I think kids are much more sophisticated than he was. I don't know. It's hard to put words to, but it is a good book. Definitely get the illustrated editions, but I recommend it, absolutely. So the next book that I read that's on this list for a review is A Clash of Kings, which is book 2 of the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin, or as so many people like to think of it, the Game of Thrones series. So this is the second book. I rated the first book 5 stars. I really enjoyed that one. I did not like this one quite as much as I liked the first one, although I did really, really, really enjoy this one. So I gave this one 4 stars, but really if I was able to do half stars, I would have given it 4.5 stars. I just wish that more would have happened in this book. It seems like with high fantasy, the first book of a series is usually very world building, and at this point we know the world, we know what's happening, we don't need so much world building. And it felt like for the first 3/4 of the book, people were basically, it really fit with the title, Clash of Kings. People were basically walking around saying, no, I should be king. I should be king. No, I should be king. And that's great, but at a point I was like, come on, I want some death. I want some sword fighting. I want some shit to go down. And it finally did, but it's just, it doesn't quite fit up to par with the first one. But I cannot wait to finish the next book in the series. Definitely give the series a try if you have not. So the next book that I have for this series is The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is a sci-fi, and it was weird and it was awesome. The characters in this are phenomenal. There's characters that, even after looking at fan art, they didn't feel that non-human. They felt more human, and so that's not how I saw them in my head. But there are some relationships in here that I did not see coming, that I live for so much. My favorite character is probably Sissix, and I think that she's a wonderful character, and I love this book. Now, this does have a companion that I have not read yet, but it is not about most. There's only one. Well, there's one character that is kind of a main character in this book that it is about, and then there's a secondary character that is here for a brief stint that is in that book. But I've already ordered it and I'm reading it. But this is so good. I give this a 5 stars on Goodreads. It was phenomenal. So good. Please read this. Even if you don't like sci-fi, there's only a small section in here where the sci-fi bits will probably kind of leave you like scratching your head a little confused. But it's so good. Like, the characters make it so good. So good. I loved it. Check it out. I loved it. So the last book that I have here is a book that I'm so proud of myself for reading, and I would not have read it if not for Emoji-a-thon. I will leave my TBR linked up above. We're coming to a close on Emoji-a-thon soon, and I'm just glad that I got to this. And yes, Julie, you were right. The details are not boring. The details are awesome. The books are so much more than I thought they were gonna be. And I'll say they. I haven't even read the next ones yet, but I will. But this is Fellowship of the Ring, the first book of the Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Wow, was this good. Wow. I'm getting like teary-eyed just thinking about how flippin' good this book was. Of course, I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. It's so good, guys. Why was I so intimidated by this book? And I think it would not, if it wasn't for me reading the Game of Thrones books, which are actually larger and more intimidating, and realizing that I can read intimidating books, I read this. I'm so happy that I did, because it's so good. I probably will be, don't take this the wrong way, please don't. I'm probably going to be unhauling this book right here. Not this story, because I'm buying more books from the story. However, this is a TV copy of the book, and it is old and broken. I got it used, and it's like got some water damage in it. Can you hear that? Like it's got some water damage. So I'm probably going to unhaul this one, maybe give it to the Goodwill or something like that. I'm not even going to try to sell this one back. But I want, so I have the second and third book in these editions, the Two Towers and the Return of the King. I'm probably going to try to find the first book in this edition. And then I'm also buying, I've already bought, they're on its way, those faux leather pocket editions that are gorgeous, okay? I've already ordered those, so I want those. But I definitely want to get the first book of this edition if I can. I'll probably try to find it at the half price books. And look at little Mr. J.R.R. on there. He's so cute. But yeah, so don't take it the wrong way. I'm not unhauling this because I didn't like the story. I'm hauling this because this book is just in bad condition, and I really did not think I would ever get it. Now, I may actually end up buying the movie editions again later, because there's one that has my bae. It has my bae. And I did love the movies, and so I'll probably maybe later buy the movie editions, but I want to get the first book of this edition. I've got the full of them. Anyway, I liked it. Check it out. Everybody knows what the story's about, but I loved it. You will too. Yes, Julie, you told me so. I love that you're right, because I wouldn't be sad if I didn't like it. You know what I mean? So that's all I have for you today. How do you like this? Do you like this setup? I mean, hopefully this is a little bit quicker, just 5 books. Actually, these were all really good books, so I kind of had a lot to say, so it's probably a little bit longer than I wanted. But I could talk about 5 books and then I never have to really explain how much I like them again, but I probably will anyway. Anyway, if you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like it and that I can keep recording them. Otherwise, have a great day wherever you are, and I love you. Bye.